Bill O'Brien. He was recently hired to be the offensive coordinator at Ohio State. Very interesting hire there. And then you know what happened? Jeff Hafley left for the NFL. He went to be the OC at the Green Bay Packers, or the DC at the Green Bay Packers. Sorry if I forget off the top of my head. And then all of a sudden, Boston College opened up, and who they go after? They got Bill O'Brien. So Bill O'Brien was the offensive coordinator at Ohio State for 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And he's like, I'm out. I'm going to be the head coach at BC, baby. So
he's chasing the money, man.
Hey, I mean, this guy's been around the block. This guy is a definition of been around the block. What's your grade on this hire?
I mean, circumstances. Boston College is moving on. They're trying to get a new coach who can, at least bring some excitement to the program, get people excited enough to donate, increase NIL, increase the stature of the program. I mean, with all the conference realignment that's happening now, here in the next 7 years when the Big 12 contract runs out, there's going to be another flood of realignment. So maybe even sooner if FSU is able to get out the ACC. But regardless, this is a good hire to me in the sense that it is a very well-known name who also is well-known for being in NFL circles too. A lot of kids who watch the NFL know the name Bill O'Brien. I mean, he's the one who notoriously made one of the worst trades in NFL history. And then he also has a lot of, Power 5 coaching experience. So he can say, look, they wanted me to be the OC at Ohio State, at freaking Ohio State, with all those elite receivers and all the elite talent that they have over there. They wanted me to be the OC. So that just speaks about my pedigree. So I think in terms of it being Boston College, I think it's a fantastic hire, because who else would have Boston College hired had they not got Bill O'Brien? But I think they got the hire right. I'm going to go ahead and say, for it being Boston College, I'll give this a solid A-. I really don't think they could have done much better. Yeah, I don't think they could have done much better. I think it's a good hire, and I think it's a notoriety hire to people be like, okay, it's Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien. I think that's a recruiting driver.
I pretty much agree with everything you just said. It is Boston College, and Bill O'Brien, listen, we've given the man some flack in recent past because, he wasn't a great GM. I'll just say that. The good news for Boston College is that he is not making trades, because when he was the GM / head coach of the Texans, he made some really bad trades. And I'm a Dolphins fan, so I can say Bill O'Brien was one of my favorite GMs because he gave us 2 first-round picks and change for Laramie Tunsil.
He traded away
Kenny Stills.
I mean, there's the freaking Tunsil trade, and then there's the DeAndre Hopkins trade. I mean, this man was just trying to tank his entire team.
They dumped Hopkins for it was only a second-round pick. It wasn't even a first for DeAndre Hopkins.
It's before he was washed. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
So I feel like that's maybe put a little stain on his coaching record. But listen, you have to separate his GM skills with his coaching skills, because as a coach, he's actually a good coach.
I mean, there's a reason all these people want him.
Yeah, the Texans were actually fairly solid while he was there, and when he was the head coach at Penn State over a decade ago, I mean, not great, but not bad at all. So he had a stint as a head coach in Happy Valley, and then as an offensive coordinator at Alabama, I mean, I would say he did fairly solid as the OC at Alabama, even though Alabama fans thought he was terrible. But I mean,
Alabama fans think everyone's terrible when they don't win the championship. So
exactly. So it's really not that big of a deal. But I'd say for Boston College, as you said, it's a good hire, and I'm gonna give this one a B+. Now, I'm not going to give it an A or an A-, only because I do think there is a ceiling here, but because it's Boston College and Bill O'Brien, I would say he's a good coach. I wouldn't say he's an outstanding coach by any means. I think this is very solid. I think it's guaranteed that Boston College will have a set floor as a program, assuming Bill O'Brien stays there. So I think he's going to raise the bar a little bit. Can they get back to those late 2000s teams when they had Matt Ryan and they, back when those days when they were pretty solid? I don't know if they'll be able to recapture that, especially in today's age with the transfer portal and NIL and all that. It's going to be tough, but I would say the ceiling here, if you're Boston College, if you're a BC fan, I'd say, you could probably expect Bill O'Brien to get BC to be a consistent middle of the pack to maybe a top half team in the ACC. because there's a lot of room for growth. And, outside those top like 4 or 5 programs in the ACC, there's a lot of growth and a lot of room for those schools to, take a little tier jump. And I think Bill O'Brien can do that.
I think he can elevate them to like a solid 7-8 win team consistently around there, which is more than Boston College is accustomed to. So
if you're at Boston College, like that's doing a tremendous job, and I think that's still pretty realistic. I think of an expectation if you're a BC fan in today's era. So I think that's the ceiling. Will he get them there? I don't know. I mean, I'd say it's possible, but it's not a guarantee. I think this is just solid, so I say B+. You say A-. I mean, pretty close.
If FSU is able to get out of the ACC, that's one more domino that's getting out of your way for you to move on up.
That is true. It's a good hire. So B+ and an A- from the Saturday Scholars.